Welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I have an action classic for you. In honor of the great Val Kilmer, I decided to review one of his all-time best movies. A movie that starred him alongside Kurt Russell in one of his most iconic roles. And that movie is 1993's Tombstone. 1993's Tombstone. Now, Tombstone is a movie that holds a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Heft in the Western community because, like, around the mid-90s, Westerns were still around. They were still making Westerns. You get, like, you'd still get a couple things. But, like, they were obviously completely on the downtick. I mean, Westerns had been on the downtick already up to that point, but they were even more on the downtick. And I think Tombstone was one of the first, I call it like modern Western movies, because it was one of the first Western movies to combine the flair and drama of 90s action movies and just 90s storytelling with a Western film, really. I mean, there had been movies that did it before, but I really think this one stood out, especially because it's just such a quotable movie. So much of the dialogue, particularly Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday, who he is the highlight of the movie. Like, rewatching the movie, because it's been a long time since I watched the movie, I just realized so many things, just how quotable the movie is. There's just like, from there are lines written for Kurt Russell, but in particularly Doc Holliday, from I can be your Huckleberry to Are We Cross to that is a thing to say. Like, there's just so many. Doc Holliday has so many lines in this movie that they just stand out. And Val Kilmer, and I'm going to just talk about that off top with Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday. He plays Doc Holliday with a sense of just, like, of carelessness, so to speak. Like, he plays Doc, there's this look in his eyes that just kind of makes you nervous. Like, this is a man who can drink himself to death or draw a gun on you, and you know he's a dangerous gunslinger. You know he's capable of killing a man without batting an eye about it. Like, he plays Doc Holliday with so much swagger, so much. And one thing that, he does with his cadence with Doc Holliday and the slow speaking cadence, he just kind of is just gliding through. Now, and if you know the historic Doc Holliday, the real life Doc Holliday, there's a bit of truth to that, because this is a man who had tuberculosis, and tuberculosis back in the day, back in that time period in the 1880s, was a big deal. Like, there was nothing you could do. It's just a death sentence. Like, some people survived it, but for the most part, if you had it, it was a death sentence, especially depending on where you lived and how long you had it. And he got TB, and doctors are telling him, like, when he got it, doctors are telling him he's gonna die. So you have to understand how a man would change. Like, death does different things to different people, the prospect of it. And if you knew you only had a year or two to live, there are a couple of ways people handle that. They either become very good people because they want to make, do as much good as they can with the time they got left, or you handle it like Doc Holliday, and you kind of are just like, you're just recklessly doing whatever. Like, you live life, literally, you never know when you're going to die. So you're just like, I'm on borrowed time anyway, baby. I'm going to drink myself till I'm stupid. I'm going to get in fights. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to do whatever I can. And he plays Doc Holliday with the reckless abandonment of a man who knows he's going to die. And you can just feel it off of him. Also, I love how he can play the sickliness of him, the cough, the sweating. He's sick, but he's still the most dangerous man in the room. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know if historical Doc Holliday was always the most, but anytime he's on screen, he's the highlight of the entire movie. Kurt Russell's doing a great job as Wyatt Earp, though. Him and his brothers are in this very good. I think you got some great actors playing him. There's some really good actors in this movie. Actors who, before they became, I forgot, you got freaking Michael Rucker in this. You got a young, Bill Paxton. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this movie. The guy who plays Ringo in this movie, funny enough, he played Hicks in Aliens. So, you got some people who would go on to be in a lot of things in the medium. But yeah, some big time actors in this movie. This is a star-studded cast. And overall, I love that. The camaraderie, this movie really really what's the word I'm looking for? Makes its money / hits its stride with its dialogue and its characters. Just the Earps and Doc Holliday alone and the interesting conversations. But the movie is generally about the events that led to the legendary shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone. Now, some people don't know this. I'm kind of a pretty big guy when it comes to history, so I already knew about this. But in 1881, Wyatt Earp and his two brothers, Virgil and what was it? Marcus? Was it Marcus? Mark? Oh, it's an M. I know it starts with an M. But either way, Wyatt Earp and his two brothers, along with Doc Holliday, went to make sure that had been kind of beefing with this gang called the Cowboys that were led by Curly Bill and Ike Clayton. And Curly Bill and Ike Clayton had been leading these Cowboys. They had been kind of like beefing with the Earps, but nothing too serious. But everyone knew it was building to something. The Earps knew that that the Cowboys were no good. They kind of wanted to get rid of them, but they couldn't, and vice versa. But this entire thing came to a head when one day, after a really bad incident, Ike decided, with him and the 6 other guys, we're gonna, you know what? We're not leaving town. We're gonna get some guns. We're gonna go find the Earps and Holiday, and we're gonna kill them. Somebody overheard them talking about it. Told Virgil Earp, who was kind of the head marshal in the town at the time. He got his brothers along with Doc Holliday, and they went down to de-escalate the situation. They went down to just show a force to tell them, hey guys, you got to get the fuck out. We don't want no violence. Just get out of town. One thing led to another. A shootout ensues. 3 of the outlaws are dead. 2 of them flee, including Ike. And, a couple of Virgil and goddamn his youngest brother, the youngest Earp brother are shot. While Wyatt stood still in the middle of it all, never did taking a shot. So, and it leads to this escalation of tension between the Earps and the Cowboys, which eventually leads to one of his brothers getting badly injured and one of his brothers dying, leading to Wyatt Earp going on his famous vendetta ride. Him, Doc Holliday, and a few other trusted men going around trying to find Ike and whoever was involved in the murder of his brother. And, it's a legendary thing that a lot of people know about. Although, in the heart of the movie, also one of the big things about the movie is this love story between Wyatt Earp and this actress named Josephine, who had come to Tombstone seeking adventure and whatnot, and she started dating one of the sheriffs because she thought that he would be adventurous, but he isn't, and she's kind of bored of him. But there's this budding romance between the two. Now, in reality, Wyatt was cheating with her. Like, in real life history, Wyatt was actually cheating with her. They weren't just flirting with it, and then he waited until his wife died and she had left her and she was single to get with her. That's how they frame it in the movie. But in reality, Wyatt was cheating with her while she was with someone and he was still married. And, sure, his actual wife did eventually die of a disease that had nothing to do with him. She was dying, and she was becoming less and less attentive to him because she was... That part is real. He was married, and his wife did start dying, and they had that in the movie as well. And the more she was dying, the more her mind was kind of going, and, and they couldn't connect anymore, so it kind of left the door open for Wyatt to fall in love with Josephine. And he did fall in love with her, but the movie frames it like they were just distant lovers, and they didn't do anything, but in reality, they were banging the whole time. But I digress. And that's kind of the love story. And the whole thing is how Wyatt's been just traveling from town to town. He's been doing whatever. He doesn't really know what he wants out of life. But Josephine knows what she wants, and he's kind of intoxicated by that. And by the end of the movie, he finds Josephine again, and they live happily ever after. Now, as an action movie, most of the action in this movie takes place, and I'm about to say the movie's about 1 hour and 55 minutes, give or take. And I'm about to say about 40 minutes of the end of the movie is where all the action is. For about 1 hour and 20 minutes of the movie, it is all built up to this shootout at the OK Corral. It is all built up to the assassination attempts and the assassination of Wyatt Earp's brothers. And it's all building up to this gun battle, this draw-off between Johnny Rango and Doc Holliday, which both are real people and both are known for being extremely accurate and extremely drawers, like they're duelists, gun duelists. And they built it up from the beginning of the movie with them looking at each other and them just being like very similar to each other, and just Doc Holliday look at him and being like, he reminds me of me. I love, like I say, the voice and everything. And like they built it up, and like they kept teasing it, and just so many times that just, I'll be a Huckleberry. I'll play for blood. That's my game. Like, bro, and like, the vibe you get is the reason Doc is such a great duelist, the reason Doc is so fast, the reason Doc is so good at this shit is because he isn't afraid to die. So he can just so he's just like, I don't care if I lose or not. So that's kind of a crazy thing because he knows he's going to die. And it's like, it kind of freed him up to just be this quick on the draw guy. And it's all leading up to it, and you get this glorious scene. And just seeing, like, I just love that scene. Oh, I was just Josh. I was just kidding. I wasn't. Just that look in his eye. Val Kilmer can have this just dead stare in his eyes. That's just scary as fuck, dude. And like he did it sometimes in roles. That's why I think he was really good as like a killer or something. Because he just had this look in his eyes, man. And as Doc Holliday, you knew he was on a good guy's side, but it still was. It was still kind of funny, Dan. But yeah, I love Tombstone. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, one of my favorite westerns of all time. It's probably Val Kilmer's most iconic role as Doc Holliday. He did this so well that every time Doc Holliday is done in any rendition of, you know, Wyatt Earp and the OK Corral thing, they voice it like his version. He has literally changed the image of Doc Holliday with his performance. And that's why I would have to give Tombstone, I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. I love this movie, man. It's a really good Western. You should check it out. If for nothing, if you're into Westerns, just check it out. I think it's a very fun time. Anyways, if you guys want to comment, movie show, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.